then I would say we start now. So perfect. First of all, welcome everyone here to our VITO webinar, Frying Oil Care Made Easy. Today, we want to talk to you about the perfect frying oil management, how beneficial VITO products can be in your operation. And of course, we want to present you our newest product, the VITO VL, talk a little bit about it. The agenda for today, first we introduce ourselves, of course, to you, and then we talk a little bit about the influences, general influences on frying oil and the issues you're facing or the daily challenges you got. Then, of course, we want to guide you to the solutions for you, the perfect solutions, I will say, like with our oil testing devices and the different kind of filtration systems we have. Go a little bit more into detail where how differently VITO works from the other products on the market. Yeah, and then at the end, we have a Q&A section. Feel free to post your answers so we can answer them all. Of course, the Gulfood Manufacturing is around the corner in the beginning of November. So everything we talk about now here, theoretically, you can later see live at the Gulfood Show from the 7th to the 9th of November here in Dubai. A little bit to me, my name is Sasha. I'm the director and corporate chef of VITO, sitting here in Dubai. And who is VITO? I would like to hand back over to Melanie to introduce from our headquarters in Germany, VITO AG.
Thanks a lot, Sasha. So welcome everybody also from my side to today's webinar. My name is Melanie. I'm working for the VITO export team since almost 3 years now, and I'm taking care of the Asia Pacific and Middle East sales region. In addition, also my colleague Zina is joining today. And having said that, I would like to introduce the VITO company first of all. So our headquarters is based in Tuttlingen, which is in the southwest part of Germany, is quite close to Stuttgart, also to the border of Switzerland. The company itself was founded in 2001. And since then we grew with 4 additional subsidiaries. One is in Hürth, which is close to Cologne, one in Chicago in the US. Then we have one other subsidiary in Italy, in Santa Lucia. And last but not least, where Sasha is sitting at the moment, our subsidiary in UAE that we have since 2019 end of. And the company VITO itself is specialized in frying oil management, so frying oil filtration systems and oil testers, portable systems, mobile systems. We will be speaking about both products and, of course, their applications during today's webinar. For the filtration systems, we're the global market leader. We supply filtration systems and, as I said, oil testers in the hospitality sector, but also in the manufacturing industry. We're represented in 150 countries globally, and we're happy to count more than 50,000 satisfied customers. So with the fact that we know about the company now, I would hand back to Sasha to speak about the different influences on frying oil.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Melanie. And yeah, I don't go too much into details. I just want to give you a general overview as you're all operators or owners of restaurants and know those challenges. Of course, the 2 biggest key factors when it comes to influences on frying oil is on one hand, the fried food, and on the other hand, the temperature. Those are 2 important key factors which we can control to a certain amount. Is it by a single origin frying? What do we fry? How do we fry? What is the ratio of fried food we put into the fryer so that we get the best outcome and the best product? Of course, the different kinds of food harm or have different influences on the frying oil. Of course, starch product, French fries or anything like that, or if you fry falafel, won't impact the oil that much as if you fry protein, of course. So protein has a much bigger influence on the lifetime of the frying oils. Of course, debris falling off the product, is it flour, is it breading, is it liquid batter, whatever it is, stays in the fryer, harms the quality, drops down the lifetime expectancy of your frying oil. And yeah, we will later show you how to influence this on a positive side. On the other hand, another key factor is the frying temperature, which is crucial depending on the oil that you're using. For example, if you use a rapeseed oil, a canola oil, or a vegetable blend oil, those are very temperature sensitive depending on the blend when it comes to vegetable oil. But in general, those are heat sensitive, where we recommend you getting at a fryer temperature between 160, 175, not above. While there are more heat stable oils in the market, for example, a peanut oil, a palm oil, or a soy-based frying oil, where you can go a little above 180, 185 maybe. From our perspective, the temperature should never exceed 185. Then you have another issues. Of course, there are different kinds of operation. If you fry in a kadai, in a wok, in a bowl or something like that, you have very high temperatures. Then you have to choose the right kind of oil to go in there. If you want to know more about those specifics of frying oil, how they handle, feel free to ask us later on or to give us a call so we can talk to you in person, because it's very specific, very detailed. On the other hand, we have, of course, water, oxygen, dust, and light reacting with the oil. I mean, there is a reason why you should cover your fryers after your service. There's a reason why this lid is there. So we cannot get too much oxygen in there. No dust is falling in there. No light is reacting with the oil. It's always small percentages you can save a bit, but it adds up on the long run if even everything is 2%. So we're talking about 8% of savings on a daily basis on frying oil you can achieve just by covering your fryer. And of course, to work against those influences or to benefit from our products, we go to the next page. We have a wide range of solutions for you there in the market. The VITO frying oil management. Of course, on the one hand, we have quality and testing devices, which gives you the security and the most economical use out of your frying oil. When I was working in the kitchen, we either changed by hours, how old was the oil, by the looks of it, how dark was the oil or anything like that. We go into the details, how more advanced you can be there with the quality measurement devices. And of course, on the other hand, we have our filtration systems, as the portable ones or the mobile ones. On the long run, they're both doing the same. They're putting out the sediments and the bitters out of your frying oil. What is not in cannot burn, cannot harm. Therefore, you can save up to 50% of your frying oil very easy on a daily basis by just using those devices. And yeah, to get started, to know the quality of your frying oil, to determine the quality of the frying oil, we would like to talk to you about our oil testing devices. And yeah, therefore, I hand back to Melanie.
Okay. Thank you, Sasha. So speaking about oil testers, first of all, the small device that you can see on the picture on the right side has a big impact. It's actually a small device which has a big impact on the quality of your frying oil. And as Sasha explained very well, frying oil is influenced by different kind of factors. And therefore, of course, the oil is breaking down over time. That's why it is important to maintain basically the quality and to check them on a regular basis. So you can see on this slide on the left side the FT440 oil tester and also the VITO oil tester. So we provide both solutions to check the oil quality in order to know exactly when to change the oil, never too early and never too late. As you can see, the tester itself consists of the display that you see on top. We have a stick at the very end and we have the sensor, and this is the actual sensor that you just hold into the frying oil. Now, in order to make a measurement, it's quite easy. You simply switch the tester on, you immerse it in the oil, and then you start moving the tester. The measurement itself goes very quick, just around 15 seconds. Important is that several fryers can be measured, one after the other. And during that process, there is actually a light flashing on top. So it's either showing green, yellow, or red, like a traffic light. So in case the tester is showing green and yellow, this is where you get basically the best product quality out of the frying oil. Once the light is flashing red, this is where the oil has to be changed. So you really get a reliable and an accurate reading by using the oil tester. Regarding the number, the bigger upper number is showing the quality of the frying oil that is measured in percentage. The number is called TPM, total polar material. This is the indicator for the chemical breakdown of the oil, and the lower number is measuring the temperature in degrees Celsius. In regard to the graph that you can see on the right side, this is basically how oil quality and the time of usage relate to each other. So depending, of course, on the quality or respectively the TPM value that the tester is showing, and also depending on the local regulation within your country, we have that green, yellow, and red zone. So in the green zone, you can see the fries are quite pale. So you get pale products, and then we have the yellow zone where you get the best shell and the optimal frying oil output. And once it's reaching the red zone, then of course the oil is somehow exhausted. The fried products look somehow a bit burnt, and this will not have a good influence and good taste anymore. So it's time to change the oil then. To sum up the usage of the frying oil tester, we switch to the next slide. So you basically maintain your frying oil quality, and this is how you keep happy customers coming back due to a good quality, due to a good taste. The oil tester itself ensures that you change the oil always at the right time. You have that easy traffic light function, which gives you a reliable and accurate number. The measurement itself goes very quick, can measure several fryers one after the other, and you can also write down the TPM values, you can record them. Therefore, we provide a list that is called HACCP list. You can see it on the right side, the document. This will be also provided by us. And that's it for the testers. So with the knowledge that we have about frying oil testers, I'm handing back to Sasha to introduce the frying oil filtration system.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Melanie, for this quick overview about the testing devices. If you have any questions, there is a Q&A section down there. Feel free to put your question in there. We will answer it later on, or go in a bit more details if you have follow-up questions regarding those testing devices. Yeah, VITO oil filter system. If you ask me as a chef, the easiest way to filter your frying oil and to get home early from a fryer operator side. What those machines are doing, they literally what you're doing manually or have other systems, they remove the debris from your frying oil. What makes VITO so unique is an in-tank filtration system. As you see on the picture with Lorena, you put the machine literally in the hot fryer at operating temperature in between service for 4.5 minutes. VITO filters the oil, takes out all the debris, bitters, and sediments out of the heating zone, takes it out. You got a clean oil, you got the best quality for the next service, you got longer lifetime of your frying oil, which saves you money, and less workload, less cleaning around the fryer. Therefore, we offer different solutions. Of course, my biggest fan is the portable solutions. We have 3 different sizes, different devices for different needs. And on the other hand, we have the mobile solutions for like nuts factory, roasteries, processing plants, something like that. And how does actually VITO work? What's the VITO effect we often talk about? You see down on the picture, what I like to say, it's like a washing machine. You put the machine in, we create a vortex, a tornado, a swirl, however you want to call it, remove all the oil around in the fryer, sucking it into our machine, putting it through the filter in front, and the clean oil runs out in front. So there is no contact for your employees with hot oil, no draining the oil, no burning themselves. It's all a fully automatic process. Machine runs for 4.5 minutes, shuts off automatically, and depending on the size of the machine, we pump between 30 to 100 liters per minute through those small little devices. You don't even have to turn off the fryer. You can fry filter at the same time. If your fryer is big enough, you filter on the one side, you're still operational on the other side, which means you get the full benefit of a filtration and the customer doesn't need to wait for anything that happens while you filter your frying oil and save your money. And to give you a little bit more detailed insight how VITO exactly works, we talk about a microfiltration, which is the finest filtration you will find at the moment on the market. We also have customers who are using those well-known inbuilt filtration system and using our machines as a polisher afterwards, still achieving savings there. Of course, in the middle, you have this line where you have the legal limits depending on the country you're living in. On the one graph, you have the impurity. On the other graph, you have the impurity over time, or the time that passes. Of course, most of you will change at the first red line, which goes up and down, particles without VITO. The oil looks dirty, you have those black spots on your food, the food doesn't taste the way you want it, which means change the oil, get in fresh oil. Most often not the time when the oil needs to be changed, because normally you can go with a chemical breakdown, which is the second red line. This is when the oil then chemically is so broken down that it's not more consumable or consumer safe, so to say. This would be where we wish we could change our oil, but this takes a lot of guesswork. As we have shown you the graph before, how exhausted oil gets, when you have those shallow French fries, those dark French fries, then it's too late, but you're in the middle of service, so you cannot change anything. You ruin your evening service. This is where we can help you, for example, with those oil testing devices. Of course, if you use the VITO oil filtration system every day, we remove 99.9996% of all those particles. We positively influence the TPM level and everything in your frying oil. So you will never change because your oil looks dirty. You will always change then when it's chemically exhausted and no longer usable. And this is then where you achieve your savings on your frying oil. Instead, those particles burning all the time, decreasing the lifetime of your frying oil, accelerating the chemical breakdown. You filter every day those particles out. They don't burn all the time. The oil lasts longer. The oil tastes better. The products taste better. So we change at a later time and can easily save you then up to 50% of your frying oil just by dipping in a machine 4.5 minutes each day. No problem with that. We are in the market for over 20 years now. We do nothing else but selling our own produced filtration devices. And yeah, so far it works. Nothing else to add there. A lot of clients and customers around the region who can vouch for us, but we get to that later on. Yeah, perfect. That's basically the point. The finest filtration, microfiltration, giving you an idea, 5 microns, which is 1/10 of human hair. And you already got a peek of our newest model, the VITO VL. This is the newest edition, now upcoming and firstly introduced at the Gulfood Manufacturing. It has a whole new design. We really put some effort and put some work in there to make our old VITO 80, which will be replaced by this unit, even better. If you want to know some technical details, feel free to call us later on. I can tell you now some facts, like we have a 125% more filtration area. We have 160% more, 16% more particle filter rate. We have a QR code, which leads you to the landing page. We have a bigger rotor. We pump 10 liters more now, up to 100 liters per minute through those filter papers. But I think the most important part about the VITO VL is its connect function. As long as you have Wi-Fi available, we can hang those machines into the internet. And those machines can be set up to send you, for example, daily reports. You get them via email. You can also log into our VITO Connect website, where you have an overview over your machine to make sure your machine is actually used and actually running in the store. You're not there 24/7 in the store. I know the guys you hire, you trust them, but control sometimes is better than trust. Have you used the machine, or have you done X, Y, Z? Yeah, I did it. You go there, you find out it isn't done. With those machines, you always have the complete transparent overview. Is the machine used? How often was the machine used? What are actually my savings I have achieved this month with the machine? And all those emails and questions will be answered by an automatically generated email. Like I said, you can set the time. You want to have it daily, you want to have it once a week, you want to have it twice a week, something like that. Very individual. So you have the perfect cost control, you have your investment protected, that it is used in the store. We can prove you the amortization with a product. You can monitor, you can put in those HACCP numbers from the tester as well. So you got everything in one sheet, no problem there anymore. It's easy to configure. It's easy. Like I said, all we need is Wi-Fi, and it automatically, each time you plug it in, the machine already sends you a detail. Yeah.
Sasha, there's a question. Is this something you would recommend from what you've seen so far for also customers that have multiple locations to have like a full control?
Sure, absolutely. The more transparency you get, I mean, imagine your area manager has to drive every day from Ajman to Sharjah to Dubai to Abu Dhabi and back, something that's not applicable. And we can set, like I said, we can set those machines at a set interval you choose. They will automatically generate your email and will tell you, hey, the machine was used or wasn't used. So you, instead of driving over there, you just takes you a phone call to get everything set up again.
Perfect. And aside from what you said with, it's not just from what I think we understood it in the audience, this is not just a better VITO 80. This is really more than just improving bits and pieces. There's really more
it's a
onto
complete
that.
new machine. The design resembles of a VITO 80, no doubt about that. But it's a complete new machine. Is it those inlays we had before, which is now a complete filter cage? Is it the outlet you see in front instead of those waves? We have now one single outlet. Is it how the motor is fixed to the machine, how big the rotor on the bottom of the machine is to get the throughput, to even crush bigger particles? Now, it's a complete different devices. Feel free to see it at the Gulfood Manufacturing show here in Dubai live. It's the first time we will show it in the whole MENA region. Feel free to step by to come over. We can talk about this in details. It would not take too long. I can go about the quick pin, the QR code. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to go into too much details and bore you with it. Feel free to give me a call afterwards. I will answer all your questions in regards to that. There is no problem to that.
Perfect.
And I think I just saw a question: how many filtrations should be done per day? Am I right, or did I just?
Yeah, per day. How many times you should do the filtering? Yeah.
Okay,
you can also add that here.
Yeah, as we are just at that point, I think it makes sense. At least do it once per day. When the day ends, when your operation is done, you start cleaning the kitchen. And while you start cleaning the kitchen, the machine runs in the fryer. So no additional time or anything needed. From a chef's perspective, I would do it after every service, after lunch service, after dinner service. If you have a 24-hour operations, maybe even after breakfast service. The sooner you get rid of those particles, the better it is for the oil, the longer it will last. Every service starts in a clean oil, so every customer coming for the next service gets the quality you want to serve him, which means the best quality. And yeah, like I said, you don't have to shut down the fryers. You can fry and filter at the same time, 4.5 minutes. You can still, if the fryer is big enough, you can still fry with one basket, you're full operational.
Perfect. I think that was for the VITO VL, and like Sasha said, it's best to see the machine, especially at the trade show. This is where you really get the best impression. So we have next mobile systems that I will be speaking about. So Sasha was speaking about everything that goes into the fryer. I'll be speaking now about the machines that suck the oil out of the fryer to filter the oil, get all the particles out, and then return the oil back into the fryer. Similar here, oil can be hot for the operation, so no downtime, no waiting time. You see here the VITO XM as our example machine. We have one smaller size, which is called the VITO XS, and one that's bigger than the VITO XM. It's called the VITO XL. So we're covering 40 liters, 75 liters, and 120 liters. That's always the tank size that fit into the X units tank itself. How does the operation work? We see that in those two middle pictures. There's a hose with a lens attached to the VITO. You can create a vacuum in the machine by just pressing the filter button. You hold the lens into the fryer, suck the oil with the particles out of the fryer, filter it here at the top. So there's a filter paper that's sitting on top of the XM machine in our example here. All the particles are being dried and collected on top of that particle filter, and the clean oil runs into the VITO machine's tank. You do that until the fryer is empty. Respectively, the machine is full. That depends a little bit which machine suits which operation. Of course, you can do with the VITO XM 75 liters at a time. If the fryers are bigger than that, you would do several filtration cycles. If the fryer is 60, 70, 75 liters, then you can, of course, filter the fryer all at once. On the second picture, you see the tank is filled with oil. Particles are on top of the filter paper, so the clean oil sits in the tank. Then we switch from the filtration button back to the return button, hold the lens back into the fryer, and then return the oil back into the fryer. The operation resembles a bit of a vacuum cleaner, filtering all the oil out of the fryer, cleaning all the particles out, and then afterwards returning it back into the oil. Very simple and also very straightforward. On the right side here, you see how the particles are dried, cleaned on the filter paper. The filter paper is made out of the same material like the portable units that Sasha was explaining. So it filters as fine as the portable systems as well. And due to removing also the burning particles here, the X machines, of course, also result in approximate oil cost savings of 50%, better quality of fried products, and also less workload around the fryers, especially because we speak about bigger fryers here that the X series is covering. Sasha was mentioning earlier nut factories, for example. In the region, there's also a lot of snack manufacturers and other customers that have big operation. Doesn't matter if it's meat or fish or fries or snacks or nuts or whatever it may be. If there's a big operation with maybe also conveyor fryers or industrial fryers, the VITO X series is a very, very good solution. And there's also different sizes, like I say, that are able to cover different sizes of fryers here as well. Here we see, maybe I start on the right side, since we were speaking about the X series and the mobile system. Here you see how does the actual operation look like. On the very right side, you see how the particles are dried on top of the filter paper. And then here on the left side, the second picture from the right, you see how the filter paper is taken out and how you can really lift out all those particles from the basket. And on the left side, this is adding the first and the second picture from the left side. This is what Sasha explained earlier. Here you see a portable VITO in a Kadai, how it's filtering, how it's removing the particles, how the clean oil is coming directly out in front. And then also in the middle, how the filter paper, like an accordion, sits inside the filter box and how the particles then also are removed into that filter paper. So much for the X operation. Melanie will summarize the VITO products benefits for us now.
Okay, perfect. So to sum up everything once again, all the benefits about the VITO oil filter system. By using VITO, you increase the lifetime of your frying oil by filtering out the particles on a regular base, you definitely improve the quality and therefore also the taste. The handling, as Sasha also explained, is very easy. You simply put the unit inside the fryer. You can track with that connect function the usage, how often the unit has been used, how many cycles, even the cycle time you can track. The filtration itself works automatically, only takes up to 5 minutes. You achieve less cleaning effort and less workload in general. And of course, also less disposal costs. And it's also under the green perspective. It's a very environmental friendly product. And yeah, that's it for the frying oil filtration system. And I'm handing over to Sasha to speak about some international references.
Okay, to be honest with you, not so international, more regional.
True.
Self-assurance. Now, we have, like I said, different machines for different applications. We have from the smallest falafel shop in Ajman to world-renowned groups like Marriott or Radisson who are using our devices. For those coming from India, for example, Haldiram's as a snack manufacturer. Here, we are good. Wingstop, Radisson, Marriott, Vox Cinemas just decided to go with us. Or like Al Safadi, one of the oldest restaurants here in Dubai, or restaurant chains, you could say, with now the 4th location open, are using all our machines from high-class restaurants to Suma. The machine is applicable to each and everyone who is using hot oil and wants to save some money, wants to make an advantage in quality, wants to give the best quality to the customer, which is one of the key components. If you ask me, quality control is key. Deliver every day the food the way you expect it to go out, so the customer can have this, how do you say it? I just lost for words, no problem with that. The customer can experience the best quality of your food the way you want to have it. And of course, how you make sure the guys on the fryer will use the machine, they have less workload around the fryer. That's basically it. It makes their life easier, so they make sure 100% they will use the machine, and you can control them by using the VITO Connect function in our biggest devices, the VITO BL. Yeah, that's literally it regarding the references. So like I said beforehand, we have now this big Q&A section. And as I have already talked a lot to you, I'm handing back to Melanie so she can read out your questions and maybe I answer them or one of us.
Thank you, Sasha. So yeah, we would continue with the last part of the presentation, a Q&A sector. So feel free to also post your questions now in the group. I've collected a couple of questions that were already posted. So the first question that came in was why we can't filter both acid value and TPM value on VITO oil testers. Sasha or Sina, would you like to answer the questions?
Okay, as the tester don't filter, we don't filter with the oil testing devices.
No, measure.
Measure. It's
okay.
about why we can't measure both acid value and TPM value on the VITO oil testers.
Because TPM is the worldwide renowned standard, which is HACCP certified and the standard to go with.
Yeah.
That's what food controllers all over the world are using to determine the quality of the frying oil. It's even the second exact result in percentage TPM you will get back when you put it into a lab, when you send it over there, or at least in Europe it is. Yeah, it's the standard number, which is the bigger picture. It's 7 to 8 different chemical components which are measured and which are put into this quality index number or under the umbrella of TPM, so to say.
And I think this is also adding to that, this is also the standard that entire countries are using to base their food regulations on top of that, and their health regulations on top of that. And that's why the testers are based on TPM, because it's the most representative value that's nowadays available for frying oil measurement.
Exactly. I mean, we have those strips in the market which are measuring free fatty acid. Free fatty acid comes from water into the fryer. So you have certain regulations you have to follow before you can use those testing strips, and FFA is one small part of the big picture. You have aldehyde, you have ketone, you have different chemical compounds. Is it by oxidation? Is it by heat, which occur in the frying oil? And to get the bigger picture, the whole picture, TPM is the standard to go with, if I may add that.
Okay. Then one other request for the VITO WL, please provide us a demo video with the introduction to the new features. Maybe I can refer to these questions. So far, we have a spec sheet available with the facts and figures, and we also have a press release. We're currently working to set up a demo video to produce that video. So this is also something that we're planning within the next 1 or 2 weeks, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
To add to that, sorry, the machine is so new and I wanted to have it now in the market.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I want to have it.
Brand new.
And of course, if you're planning to attend at the Gulfood show, then you can also take a look and speak to Sasha and our team. Yeah. Okay. Then one more question that we got: if we are using that machine, if it's okay, no need to use the filter sheet.
Maybe I can take that question. So both VITO machines, the portable group as well as the mobile group, they're all used with a filter paper or a filter sheet, however you would like to call it. The filter paper that fits into the portable units is in that accordion shape with all the folds that fits perfectly into the box. And the mobile units all use a flat filter paper, but it's not intended to be used without a filter paper, because of course you want to remove the fine particles, and for that you need that filter paper as a filter medium.
Yeah. Okay.
Sasha had something else to add, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is important for me, those are biodegradable paper filters. So there are no chemicals added. There is no additives you have to add to the oil. It's, so to say, a pure and natural filtration process. And those filter papers, depending on your operation, are multiple uses. So you don't have to change the filter paper every single time unless you're crazy operational. And, you know, I always say, if you fry like a big boy, you got to filter like a big boy. So if you have 10, 12 fryers or even 6 fryers or stuff like that, of course, then you tend to change the filter every day. But if you have 2 fryers, 4 to 6 filtration, maybe 8 filtration out of 1 filter paper, no problem to that.
All right, thank you, Sasha. What is the time per liter of filtration for the mobile machines?
So the mobile machines, all of them, they filter 30 liters a minute on average, which means every minute you get 30 liters out of the oil. It goes into a similar direction, what Sasha said. The more often you change the filter, the dirtier the fryer, the more often you change the filter paper, the more particles are in the oil, the little more longer the filtration can also take. That's why we say on average 30 liters a minute. Can also, you know, go a little bit up or go a little bit down there as well. But overall, that's quite fast, considering with to give an example, the VITO XM, for example, holds 75 liters. So if you have a 75 liter fryer, it takes 2.5, 3, 4, worst case scenario, minutes. If there's not too many particles to remove the oil from the fryer, if it's very, very dirty, we're looking at 5, 6 minutes, something like that, which is also operationally very, very efficient. And the same counts also for returning the oil. That's also approximate 30 liters per minute once you return the clean oil back into the fryer.
Okay, thank you, Sina. One last question. This is for Sasha. Do we have any special discount during Gulfood Show?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. There was somehow an interruption. Of course, we have trade show specials. Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yes, big specials. Introduction special.
Yes, special
and the rest
offers.
is up to and the rest is up to your negotiating skills.
Yes. Okay, I think this was it for the Q&A part. Then we switch to the last slide. Yeah, Sasha, maybe you want to close the session also.
Yeah, I love hearing my voice. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like I said, we wanted to keep this as short as possible, giving you an overview over the next few months and time. There will be different webinars where we talk a bit more about the oil testing devices, where we talk a little bit more about mobile and portable filtration systems. If you have any questions in between, feel free to contact us, no matter where you are, if you'd like to talk to the lovely ladies, which are more than capable of answering your questions. You can call them in Germany. Here's the phone number. Otherwise, if you come from Dubai or you have a question in regards to the region, feel free to contact me at any time. No problem with that. If you want to see those machines live, I want to point it out one more time. From the 7th to the 9th of November, we will be in Hall 2, booth 261, presenting our newest model, also the other models and the oil testing devices. Feel free to come over to say hi. If you have any questions, we can answer that. You can touch the machine there. You can see the machine there. We can show you the connect functions there live on the show, how it works, how easy it is to set up. Yeah, and that's literally everything from me. For everyone who's living in the UAE, I like to wish a happy, long, extended weekend with an extra day off tomorrow. For everyone else, push through one more day, maybe 2 more days, and then you got your weekend coming in. No problem with that. I want to thank Melanie and Zina from our German head office for guiding us and helping me out on this beautiful webinar. And with that said, ladies, if you want to say bye, that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you
very
Sasha.
much. Thank you also from our side.
Thanks for participating. Yeah. Nice afternoon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.